there, welcome to Sonic Starter's Music Production Essentials video series. If you're new to the channel, I'm Vlad. I've been recording my own music in my home studio for the past 15 years or so, and I wanted to create this video series to give you a head start by sharing everything I've learned and also all the mistakes I've made over the years, so you can get started or get better at your recording and music production. And today I want to talk about master reverb and how you can basically use a single reverb track to kind of bring your mix a bit more together and sound kind of more cohesive. Or in the second example we're going to check out in a bit, we are going to take the kind of existing sound of the band and then just take it to a whole different ambient level using one single reverb plugin. And let's get started right away. What you see here is a track that I just called Volaus Mayer song. Basically, I was demoing a Volaus guitar and tried to write something in the style of John Mayer. And here's how it sounds. No master reverb here right now, anything like that. As you can tell, there's a little bit of ambience going on, but we could do a bit more and kind of bring it all together. And what we're going to do here is to take all of our tracks and send those into a master reverb. We're going to leave out the bass. I'm going to explain why in just a second, but I'm going to do send, and the bus number 1 slot is available, so let's send stuff there. Looks like I'm accidentally adding the bass there anyway, but we're going to remove that now. And the reason we're leaving out the bass is because we don't want to reverberate the bass guitar. We will just muddy up the mix with all the low frequencies kind of reverberating all over the track, and it will just cause more problems to our overall sound. I should also address that because I'm using just a stereo drum track over here, I'm using EZdrum 2 in this project, we're going to address the low frequencies the drum set introduces in the reverb plugin itself. So I have my bus track created, and it's time to load up something called Valhalla Supermassive. This is a completely free plugin, sounds amazing, comes with a bunch of amazing presets as well, and let's just take a listen. As you can tell, the default preset isn't exactly what we want. There's some sort of ping pong delay stuff and things like that happening. We don't want to do that. Instead, I would go to reverbs, and one of my absolute favorite reverbs from the Valhalla Supermassive is something called 80s Mod Room. And here's how this preset sounds in the mix, and then I'm going to solo out the track so you can hear what's happening. Alright, there's a couple of things we need to address right away. First of all, I'm going to turn the mix on the Valhalla Supermassive to 100 because we can then use this level control over here to blend in as much or as little reverb as we want. And remember when I told you we're not sending bass into the reverb plugin, this is why you can hear how the low frequencies reverberate and kind of muddy up everything. Right, I think we're getting close, and what we can do now is start blending in the reverb to the mix. I usually start by going to, 0 dB and then kind of bring it up and see what works. As you can tell, what we did here was kind of take the existing vibe of the track and we just kind of added to it by having this modulated reverb going in the background. It's not really getting in the way because we're doing this in a kind of parallel way, but it just enhances the overall vibe of the track, and to me it just sounds better this way. All right, it's time to go more ambient, and this project you see here is a session from COVID times. We weren't able to gather at our church, so few of us gathered at our friend's place and recorded few songs for our service. But I think first it's important to listen what kind of track we're talking about.
Kiedoit mut syleilysi, täytä taas rauhallasi uppoudun. Armosi sun nyt tässä on. Armollas kutsuit musis, sydämeen on sun.
I'm going to skip to a louder part of the song so you can hear what's going on there. So as you can tell, there's already this certain kind of vibe going on with all the sounds we chose to use. And what we want to do here is to take that kind of vibe and just take it to the max level, I guess. So I'm again sending all of the tracks into the master reverb, except I'm going to drop out the bass from there. And for this one, I want to go with something kind of crazy, but we're going to keep it in the background. There's something called Splashy Synth here in Supermassive. Let's take a listen. As you can tell, it's creating a ridiculous synth background to the overall song. Let's turn the mix on full. And as I mentioned, let's cut out a bit more so we're not synthesizing all of the low end. There you go. I'm also taking a lot of the high end out. We don't want to reverberate a lot of the high end because the track can easily become pretty harsh. And let's give this a listen in the context of the whole song. If we stop, you can hear how long the tail is, and we can obviously adjust that as well. But I don't feel there's a need to that. Maybe back this down to 50% or so. But again, we're taking something that already kind of exists within this track, but just taking it to a next level. Without it, not only you can use reverb to kind of just bring your tracks together and enhance the existing atmosphere of the song, but you can also use it for kind of dramatic purposes, building the arch to your song. And this song is kind of crescendos at the very end. So we can, for example, kind of bring in a little bit more of the synth reverb, things like that. And as always, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up, click the subscribe button so you won't miss any of the new episodes as they come out. And a bunch of ways to support what I do in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching. I shall see you next time.